Screen prints for electronic enclosure. Sometimes new skills will learn due to the external pressure. This is a story on how I learned screen print technology. My longtime screen printing service provider went to digital and discontinued screen printing. It is a logical evolution of the modern UV printer era. The drawback is that those modern printers have low clearance and you cannot use them to make a print on the enclosure. There are industrial-grade printers with unlimited capabilities, but with volumes below 1,000 pieces per order, it's hard to become a welcome customer. Also, screen prints on a powder-coated surface are a significant challenge for most screen printing companies. First, you should use solvent-based ink. For best results, use two components of ink type. Second, you should print on a bent enclosure. You need an adapter to secure the material. Typically, when I start a discussion with a potential service provider, the response is the following. We don't have such experience and we should warn that it will be expensive. For me, it is a sign that company doesn't have experience and all risks are included in the price. So it ended with my decision that I need to build this knowledge inside my company and invest either in UV printers or in screen print technology. I briefly look at UV printers and like the technology. But a couple of significant drawbacks postpone it for a moment of high volumes. With higher volumes, I may outsource this operation to service provider as well. The key drawback is clearance height. A typical budget UV printer has about 120 mm clearance. That means I should paint the enclosure before the last bend. It is limiting me to certain specific elastic powder coats, and I should sacrifice some aesthetics of the enclosure surface. Second, the drawback is low utilization of UV printer. Also, UV printers need regular maintenance, what are an additional costs. So, I need an alternative. There are several alternatives like laser engraving and screen printing. Screen printing is a winner due to its simplicity, productivity, and low upfront payments. Screen print is well-established technology, and I start looking for ready-made screen print equipment. The single station did not pass rigidity test. I have the thin text and that requires rigid construction. The simple 4-screen design looks perfect for my needs. I took the budget China-produced unit. I was going to use only single station assembling, or at maximum 2 station, just to keep a balance. This was almost perfect for my narrow specialized print work. I found a €150 offer with delivery from Poland. We have regular traffic from Europe via Poland, and in 2 days from the moment of order, delivery arrived in my office. What is in the package? A base with rotation mechanism and those small parts to assemble the unit. This unit has known drawbacks. One is how springs are secured. You can see that height is different. It's not good. In my usage scenario, I'm going to assemble only 2 stations, and then springs will be located at the optimum location. The second drawback is that springs are secured directly to frame holder. When adjusting the frame, you should release the springs. Otherwise, the rotation mechanism is perfect and precise, as well as bearings for the screen holder mechanism. There I have some examples how it should be made in my opinion. There is an adapter for the spring load mechanism. As well as springs are not attached to the screen frame holder mechanism. But this model costs about 2K USD. It's far too expensive to invest in that. You can find several modifications of my chosen model, and all of them have mentioned drawbacks. Even 6-frame system has the same design elements. Finally, this is my setup. As I mentioned, I like this particular unit due to its lightweight and easy installation design. It takes little space, easy to assemble, and has a perfect repeatability of positioning. I have learned from previously discussed improved designs I made one as a test. In reality, it's not necessary, because for my application scenario, I'm setting base construction once, and then all necessary small adjustments are done without changes to initial settings. For 2 station scenarios, the spring mechanism is perfect. No complaints from my side. There are a couple more pictures how it looks like. I assembled it on a table and the height is optimized for convenient operation. Vertical construction rigidity is not sufficient for my application. This is why I set the frame holder to be horizontal when touching base. It is making 3 mm clearance for printable objects. Assembled and tuned screen print station. When working with solvent-based inks, you need a foam cupboard or foam destruction system. It is better not to breathe solvent, and foam destruction system is important, especially when cleaning screens after work. You should use a lot of solvent. I solved it with the cheapest kitchen foam destructor. It is effective, even using such aggressive solvent as acetons. It doesn't smell in the room at all. Simple ribbon tube to deliver foam outside the room. And I'm using quick release mechanism for easy installation. Quick release mechanism. When working with solvent-based inks, you should work very fast because the ink is drying as a hell. My productivity working together with an assistant is about 150 prints per hour. It's fast. On the other side, there are adjustment screws that you can secure with a finger force. From the distance. Front view. Complete workplace. For screen printing with dual component ink, you need a lot of small jars that will go to the waste later. After the hardened chemical reaction with ink, there is no solvent capable to clean your jar. You also need to wear protective gloves. It's not suggestion, it's a must. Important stuff. Ink, several solvents, and most importantly, clean water, in case your solvent gets in your eyes. I hope everyone got the message that we should wear protective glasses as well. Risks that something happens are minimalistic, but smart people don't ignore personal safety. So, your workplace is ready. Couple more items worth mentioning is this China design. There is continuous evolution in finding optimum construction. This bearing part for my unit was too high to get 0 degrees horizontal screen frame adjustment. I solved it by putting about 10 mm spacer under the frame holder bearing. Side view. Now everything is perfect. There's a full set of chemicals and small things you need for screen printing. The darker liquid is hardener. Mixing proportions are given in manufacturer manual. It is about 1 to 10 proportions. I'm already mentioned that you should work fast. Lean principles are important. Place printable objects near your workspace and clean fingerprints with alcohol or acetone before starting the printing process. Due to the fast solvent drying process, I eliminated the ink surface to squeegee width. It is keeping ink film thick, and you can print more prints without adding ink and solvent. You can see different pictures how it is done. My enclosure size adjustments working well, and it is easy to adjust to several designs. Clearance adjustment. For good screen prints, you should set clearance between 1 to 2 millimeters. It is relatively high tolerance, and this cheap metal frame is not able to provide such adjustment tolerance. I solved it using industrial sheet metal parts. It is much easier and faster. Honestly, I am very satisfied with the workplace, simplicity, and minimum spending so far. For test prints, I prepared black paper material. Before printing to enclosure, I will do a couple of test prints. If everything is fine, then we start printing to workpiece. For logical reasons, I was not able to film or take photos during the printing process. It takes 100% focus and high intensity. It's not the same as printing with a water-based inks on a t-shirt. Maybe this is the reason why mainstream screen printing companies avoid working with enclosure prints. And there you can see outcome. I'm happy with the result. The pro-grade quality is achieved with the simple tools. Also, productivity is higher than with UV printers and laser engraving.